world and its foolish ways. How we days casting lover side, losing sight of life day by day. She saw poverty breaking up our home. Wounded warriors took our song away. But the day will come, Jenny Wren will sing when this book spend our days catching upon life only because of you, Jenny Wren. So who we are, Jenny Wren.
KXRN LP, Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach. KXFM on 104.7, KXFMradio.org.
Hey there, what's up, Laguna? Janice Murray here with news. What do you think of the Forest Avenue Promenade? Should it be permanent, bigger, smaller, more user-friendly? City Council wants to know what you think at a meeting on Tuesday, February 4th at 5 p.m. at City Hall. The city's design consultant will also present their plans and seek input from both the council and you. The next steps are obtaining construction permits. So bring your ideas to the City Council meeting Tuesday, February 4th at 5 p.m. at City Hall, or email your ideas to the city's project manager at lagunabeachcity.net. And I'm Janice Murray with news on 104.7 KXFM.
KXFM 1047, Laguna's community radio.
Hi, this is KXFM meteorologist Dave Murray. It is a good-looking Sunday across Laguna Beach. Of course, it is Groundhog Day. Sunshine dominates. 65 will do it for the high. Just a very pretty day to be out and about and enjoy everything that is Laguna Beach. Tonight, clear skies. 50 will do it for the overnight low. On Monday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Another very quiet day. 64 degrees. Rain continues to be on tap for Tuesday night into Wednesday. I think the prime time is going to be 10 p.m. Tuesday night to about 10 a.m. on Wednesday, and we could easily see a solid inch of rain. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 1047, Laguna's community radio.
This disclaimer is a statement notifying listening audiences that any opinions expressed on our shows are not representative of Laguna Radio, Inc., its management, or its board of directors.
dreamer once in a lullaby. Fly your towel over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dream of, dream really do come true. Someday you wish upon a star with the clouds up from behind.
Good morning, Laguna Beach. It is February the 2nd at 10 a.m. in Laguna Beach in the year 2025. This is Craig and Rainbow Radio on KXFM. I'm here every week at 10 a.m. to noon, and I'm reporting on things all over the world with regard to LGBTQ focus, with a LGBTQ focus, but certainly inclusive of everyone. Let me repeat that again. It's inclusive of everyone. That brings me to I'm just going to jump right in here, folks, this week. Before I go on to all the fluffy stuff and the okay stuff, there was some events this week that horrific, as we know, some aircraft that suffered catastrophic results. And so there's two. It was politicized way more than what is respectable, I feel, and there was clearly from our leader, national leader, whom that is, there was blame on the DEI. And with that, I want to jump right in here this morning and talk about the DEI. I've talked about it before and what it stands for and what it means. And I think we need to be clear when what we're talking about, because it is not as it may seem. And let me explain. Years ago, when there was blatant discrimination regarding minorities, and it wasn't particularly focused on gays, but it was particularly focused on ethnic minorities, and the Black community, Native Americans, and so what was years ago in the 60s and 70s, it was called affirmative action, because they felt if you were in, let's say, a community that was 80% Asian, and you didn't have any Asian in your work staff, and you were a major employer there's a question about your hiring practices. Were you really being fair in hiring maybe the best candidate? So they imposed what they called the affirmative action. And along with it came quotas. And I know when I was going to college admissions looked at that very closely, and they had quotas. And it was almost like if you were not a minority, you you had less of an opportunity of getting into a particular college, because they were seeking more minorities for that college. So in all fairness, it was not a level playing field. And so affirmative action went on many years. And I think when it was in its extreme unbalance, where there was lots and lots of employers and colleges and whatever housing organizations, that they were blatantly discriminating. And so some of these affirmative action hiring quotas seemed to make sense at the time. At least kind of push it in the direction that would seem like it's being fair. That was affirmative action. That could bring maybe not the best candidate or the best student or the best employee forward because of the quotas or the hiring quotas and affirmative action, but in an effort to balance and be more fair. But to me, the most important criteria when hiring someone is their ability. And regardless of their preferences, regardless of their ethnic backgrounds, regardless of many things, but it is their qualifications and their abilities to perform the job. So now, in the last couple of, I say maybe it's the last decade particularly, there's a new term that they label things, and it's called DEI. And DEI is distinctively different than affirmative action. DEI is a non-discrimination policies. And I wrote this article and I posted it on social media. The key difference between affirmative action and hiring quotas and the DEI non-discrimination policies. So they're two very distinct things. And right now, the reason I'm talking today and sharing you my opinion, which they said I can have on this radio program, is that it's being misconstrued. And too often they get all excited about all this other stuff, and they're not making the distinction about what it really is. And so if you go back to the roots of it, what it really is, there is no reason to have any brouhaha or political. And so while our current leader wants to blame it on too many gays, too many Asians, too many blacks, too many whatevers in the FAA, in their hiring practices and blame it on DEI, it's not fair. And I take great issue with that because DEI is not what they're portraying it in the public discourse. Okay, so here we go. This is what it really is. And we all should take a step back and look at it for what it really is and not, politicize it. Affirmative action programs and diversity, equality, and inclusion, which is DEI, initiatives are often mistakenly seen as interchangeable, but they serve fundamentally different purposes in the workplace. The primary distinction lies in how they approach representation and equality. Okay. Affirmative action with hiring quotas. Let's look at that first. Affirmative action policies that use strict quotas mandate a specific number or percentage of hires from an underrepresented group. These programs were originally designed to address historical inequalities by ensuring that marginalized communities receive opportunities in employment and education. However, quota-based hiring is a more rigid system, often requiring a company to meet specific numerical targets. The approach can sometimes lead to criticisms of preferential treatment or concerns over merit-based hiring, which that's what should be, merit-based, making it a controversial strategy in today's workplace. And in fact, the Supreme Court said it was unfair. And because it's not equality, which is in the Constitution. Okay, so far so good. And affirmative action has pretty much been abandoned for those reasons, because it's not considered equality, administration of equality. So that's affirmative action. And that is decades and decades ago. But then along comes DEI. DEI is non-discrimination protection, okay? Diversity, equality, and inclusion, DEI programs, on the other hand, focus on creating a fair, non-discriminatory work environment for everyone, okay? It's leveling the playing field for everyone. Equality, our Constitution, that's what we are about. These initiatives ensure that hiring and workplace policies promote equal opportunity without mandating quotas. DEI programs work by preventing bias in hiring, fostering inclusive workplace cultures, and providing equal access to opportunities for all employees, regardless of their background. Unlike affirmative action quotas, DEI does not guarantee a set number of hires from any demographic, but instead seeks to remove barriers to fairness. And I think we all want to be fair, and I think we want to all treat one another equally. And so that is what DEI is about. It's a term that describes being fair and honorable in your work policies and protecting everyone from discrimination, whoever you are. Maybe someone doesn't like white male men, so it protects everyone. And to me, this last week was all about, it's DEI. DEI, it's crazy. Microsoft said, we're not pulling it away. We're keeping it. And many companies have been criticized for it. And to me, they're being criticized unfairly because it's about treating everyone equally. And that, again, is in our Constitution. Okay, so why are they often confused? Let's wrap this up. Many people conflate affirmative action quotas with DEI programs because both aim to increase diversity in the workplace. That's true. However, the key difference is that affirmative action quotas impose specific hiring targets, whereas DEI practices ensure that discrimination does not occur, allowing merit-based hiring decisions to be made in an equitable manner. Now, who would argue with that? And if you would, then you might use that B word, bigot, something or other. In short, affirmative action quotas focus on numerical representation, while DEI ensures fair treatment and opportunity for all employees without enforcing hiring targets. Understanding this distinction is crucial in discussions, yes, and political jousting about workplace diversity and fairness. Okay, I've said it. That's it. I'm done with that. DEI is been villainized, misinterpreted, and companies have been boycotted and for these practices. Now, if you're a company and you have unfair practices, that's a liability for your shareholders, for your owners, for your management. It's a liability because you can being fair is and honorable is a requirement in most states, most employment situations. So to have a program that says we're going to treat everyone fairly on an equal basis and hire strictly on merit-based, not quotas, not affirmative action programs, but on one's ability makes a great world of more sense than, Okay, so I thought I was over with that. Anyway, Valentine's Day. Let's shift gears. Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's all about love. And so now that I had my little morning tirade, let's get into love, okay?
Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around. Love is in the air. Every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish. Don't know if I'm being wise. But it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, in the whisper of the tree. Love is in the air, in the thunder of the sea. And I don't know if I'm just dreaming. Don't know if I feel safe. But it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when you call out my name. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh. Love is in the air, in the rising of the sun. Love is in the air, when the day is nearly done. And I don't know if you're an illusion, don't know if I see it true, but you're something that I must believe in. And you're there when I reach out for you. Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in. And that's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh, 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 Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh, 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 Love is in the air, in the rising of the sun. Love is in the air, when the day is nearly done. And I don't know if you're an illusion, don't know if I see it true, but you're something that I must believe in. And you're there when I reach out for you. Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in. And that's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh, 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 oh.
Yes, love is in the air. That is John Paul Young, and that's an oldie in the throes of the, I dare I say, the disco era. And what is love all about? It's Valentine's Day coming up, not this Friday. What is today? It's 2 weeks. Well, it's not quite 2 weeks away, but it's the 14th. It's Friday, and Laguna Beach Pride has an event at the Susie Q Center. And it is a social from 4 to 6 p.m. So it is free. Well, asking $5 donation at the door, but there are adult beverages and some snack food, some light bites, and it's just kind of a social get together. Bring your love and mix it up at the Susie Q on the 14th on Valentine's Day. Yeah. You heard it here first. Now, what is Valentine's Day? I said, I got to keep my public informed. I got to do a little research. So I did. And this is what I came up with. Valentine's Day is widely celebrated as a day of love and romance. Ooh, gets my loins all excited. That's probably a little too much information, I'm sure. Has a history rooted in ancient traditions, religious significance, and evolving cultural interpretations. While its mainstream narrative has long been associated with heterosexual love stories, the LGBTQ plus community has both shaped and redefined the holiday, making it a celebration of love in all its forms. And there you have it. Ancient origins, love and defiance. Valentine's Day traces back into ancient Rome, where the mid-February festival, Lupercalia, yeah, that's what it is, Lupercalia, was a fertility celebration involving matchmaking rituals. As Christianity spread, what did they do to it? The festival was transformed, honoring Saint Valentine's, of course, a priest, or possibly multiple figures, said to have defied Emperor Claudius II's ban on marriage for soldiers. Oh, soldiers couldn't get married because Emperor Claudius II said so? Oh my. Some legends suggest that he secretly performed weddings, an act of love and defiance, values that resonate deeply with the LGBTQ plus movement. Love beyond conventions. Throughout history, same-sex love and gender diversity have existed in nearly every culture, despite erasure and oppression. Get that big erasure out there. Figures like Sappho of Lesbos, a poet from ancient Greece, expressed passionate love for women in her poetry, influencing the term lesbian. Likewise, the Roman Emperor Hadrian's love for Antonius was legendary, resulting in temples and monuments in his honor. How about that? Moving right along. Reclaiming Valentine's Day. For much of modern history, Valentine's Day focused on tradition, heterosexual romance. However, LGBTQ individuals have reclaimed the holiday as a celebration of love without boundaries. Here are 3 important things to consider. Visibility and representation. LGBTQ plus couples publicly celebrate Valentine's Day, challenging heteronormative narratives. Okay, well, whatever. Activism for love. In the 20th century, same-sex couples used the holiday to demand marriage equality, holding love-ins and symbolic weddings, even though they couldn't do it. But chosen families. For many LGBTQ plus peoples estranged from their biological families, Valentine's Day is a time to honor chosen families and queer friendships. Also, there is a tongue-in-cheek here. It's also considered Valentine's Day Singles Awareness Day. How about that? Singles awareness. I mean, some people are single, and we need to be aware of that. Not everyone has someone. Oh, I digress. Modern celebrations, love for all. Today, Valentine's Day, is an opportunity to recognize and uplift all kinds of love, romantic, platonic, and self-love, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. With LGBTQ plus representation in media, greeting cards, and public celebrations, the holiday now symbolizes inclusivity and the triumph of love over prejudice. Love is love is love. From the ancient acts of defiance to modern expressions of queer joy, Valentine's Day has evolved beyond a commercial holiday as a testament to love's power in all its diverse and beautiful forms. As they say, love conquers all. So that's my little dissertation on love. Now, this is kind of potluck as we go along here today. My next topic I got to go on about is a public service announcement of sorts, because I do feel it kind of is informative to the public. And how many of you have been going, want to understand the difference between Siri, Alexis, or OK Google and OK Google? Now, I don't know if you're aware, but often, I don't know, go to a friend's house and they go, oh, Siri, do this, or Siri, do that, or Alexis, do this. And you're going, how does that work? And who are you talking to? And what do they do? And yada, yada, yada. And okay, Google, well, what? Okay, Google, what? You know? And so I find it a bit confusing. The major differences between Siri, Alexis, and Google Assistant, often activated by OK Google, revolve around their developers, ecosystems, functionality, and capabilities. Here's a breakdown. No wonder why it's confusing. I'm at someone's house. I don't know whether to ask for Siri or Alexis when I want to turn the lights on. I mean, so let's try and understand this. Developer and ecosystem. Siri, SUSIRI is the way it's spelled, Siri, was developed by Apple, integrated deeply with Apple devices, the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, and the Apple Watch, and the Home Pod. Alexa, on the other hand, is developed by Amazon, primarily used in Amazon Echo devices and smart home products. And that is huge. Let me just say, all of these can be connected to many things in your house and perform many functions with a simple voice command. I left the house this morning and I said, okay, Google, close the garage door. And it closed the garage door because I told it to. Amazing. That was in my car. I told my car to close the garage door and it did. Okay. So, and then finally, Google Assistant, or OK Google, developed by Google and is integrated into Android phones, Google Nest devices, and other Google services. Now, in the house, I have a Google speaker, and I tell it to play songs, whatever. While in the kitchen, I'm doing the dishes, my hands are wet, and I go, I want to hear some music. It's kind of, be nice. So I just say, OK Google. As I'm saying this, my phone keeps lighting up. It wants to know what I want. Anyway, and I'll say, play some Spotify music for me. And it will play some Spotify music for me. And turn it up or turn it down, does all that. So it can be very handy. Let's go on about intelligence and capabilities. Siri, SIRI, and again, that's the Apple one, is best at Apple ecosystems integration. iMessage, AirPods, Apple Music, HomeKit. Limited third-party support compared to Alexa and Google Assistant. In other words, they kind of have their own game there, which is very typical of Apple. They play their own game in their own playground and keep other people out too often is my concern. It's often seen as less controversial or conversational and less flexible in handling general knowledge queries, because Google's the master of that, I think, or AI is the master of that. That's Siri, SIRI. Alexa is ALEXA, okay? And that's the Amazon one again. And the strongest it is strongest in smart home control, supports a wide range of third-party smart devices. Well, that's important to know. It's best for Amazon-related tasks like shopping, Prime Music, Kindle book reading, etc. So you can shop with your Alexa. Alexa, order me some groceries. I want 4 prime rib steaks. Whatever. Anyway, allows custom skills with third-party apps to expand its functionality. So third-party apps can be more integrated into the Alexa ecosystem. And what is a third-party app, you might ask? It is a program that will do things like say you buy a program that says, I want to set my living room space for a romantic evening. So the third-party app will say, okay, it says romantic evening. What are the settings for romantic evening? It'll say turn the lights to a certain level, turn the change the thermostat temperature to a comfortable level, close the blinds, start the fire if it's a gas fire, put the music on and set the mood, essentially do all those things. What a third-party app might do. Third-party app might control your garage door, which is what I have. So, the last is not as strong as answering general knowledge questions compared to Google Assistant. And then the third one is Google Assistant. Best for search-based queries. Leverages Google's powerful search and AI. I mean, you're at dinner and you're arguing over who was in a certain movie and when the movie was released and yada, yada. You just go, okay, Google, when was yada, yada, yada released and who were the main actors in it? And it'll come back and tell you, So that is Google Assistant. Most conversational AI, able to understand and follow up on questions. So you can ask a question in AI and it will answer it. And I have practiced that last night with a friend. And it's really interesting because it talks to you like you're a real person. It comes, okay, that was my answer. Did you like that answer? Did you have further questions? Did you want to modify it? It actually, and you feel like you're talking to someone who's, your research specialist, It is amazing. Continuing on with the Google Assistant, best for Google Services integration from Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Maps, and YouTube. So, and those are all great because with the Google Assistant, it'll remind you that you have an appointment. It'll remind you that you have an email. We'll read the email if you want. It will also read your text messages if you want. So it's really powerful in that area. And it's strong in multilingual support and natural language processing. That's multilingual support. So if say you get an email message and it's in a foreign language and you say, can you translate that for me? It'll do it. So that is the intelligence and capabilities of the 3 major, I guess, I don't know what you want to call them, voice command opportunities. And the third chapter in that is smart home and device compatibility. So this is going to explain more about Siri. Siri works mainly with Apple HomeKit comparable devices. Alexa is most capabilities with third-party smart devices, making it a popular choice for smart homes. Google Assistant works with Google Nest and many third-party devices, but is less extensive than Alexa. That makes it all confusing. Privacy and data handling. Siri Apple emphasizes on-device processing and privacy with less cloud-based data collection. Alexa, which is Amazon, stores more user information to improve AI responses, but raises privacy concerns over data collection. I'm sure, and marketing. How many times have you Google searched for, say, G-Star jeans, and then all of a sudden, all your social media is pitching you G-Star. Yeah, that happens. Or screen windows, all of a sudden everywhere you go, they're pitching you new screen windows. Google, so privacy, when it comes to Google also collects user data for personalization, marketing. But users can manage and delete stored voice data. Well, they've already got the information. So, okay, default availability as another topic when it comes to these. Siri only available on Apple devices. Alexa, built for Amazon Echo products, some third-party devices, and the Alexa app. Google Assistant, native to Android phones and Google Nest products, but also available on ISO via an app. So Google Assistant is kind of winning the battle there, if you ask me. Which one is best? Okay, that's the all. This is what we want to know, right? If you're an Apple user, Siri integrates best. Integrates best. If you want the best smart home assistant, Alexa leads the smart device compatibility. If you rely on Google services and need a great AI assistant, Google Assistant is the most powerful for general knowledge and conversational AI. Each has its strengths on how you use technology in your daily life. So I hope I shed a little bit of light on these. Okay, Siri and Alexa, turn the lights up. Alexa, start the jacuzzi. All of those important things. So, and again, the three major ones are Siri, SIRI, and that's Apple, and Alexa, ALEXA, and that is provided by Amazon, and Google Assistant, which of course is Google. So those are the three, and they each have their attributes depending on where you want to be and what you want to do with them. It's all muddied up now to me. What can I say? So that's my public service message today. Let's get back to some love, because Valentine's Day is going to be here. And, I see Amazon has gifts under $10, gifts under $20, gifts under $30. So, you might want to, go do some Amazon shopping and send some love to some friends that may need some love. We all need love. So, and with that is this love.
I wanna love you. I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with the roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. We'll share the same room. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be
Hey, it's Bruce Rave, and I hope you can join me Saturday nights for my all-new music show. We look at many of the coolest, most important indie and alternative tunes from around the world. Lots of new and deeper tracks from familiar artists, also some newbies that I feel have really bright futures. So come hang with me Saturday nights, 7 to 9 on
That's the best KXFM I've heard. KXFM. Here we go. I have, if you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, this top of the show that I've been doing, I have been giving the fire report, as we know, for Los Angeles. And I meant to start the program with it, but I didn't. I got sidetracked on some issues I had taken very seriously and needed to express my concerns. Anyway, I digress. What are the latest statistics regarding the recent ongoing fires in Los Angeles fires? So, as of yesterday, this was done as of February 2nd, the Palisades and Eaton fires in Los Angeles County have been fully contained. Wow. Whew. That is great news. That is excellent news. The Palisades fire, which ignited on January 7th in the Pacific Palisades area, burned 23,448 acres, resulted in 12 fatalities, and destroyed numerous homes and businesses. The Eaton fire, also starting on January 7th, near Altadena, consumed over 14,000 acres and led to 17 deaths. Collectively, these fires destroyed over 16,000 structures and caused insured property damages exceeding $28 billion. The combined death toll from both fires stands at 29, with 12 fatalities attributed to the Palisades fire and 17 to the Eaton fire. In response to these devastating events, California officials are investigating the role of utility company Southern California Edison in potentially causing the fires. The investigation aims to determine accountability and improve preventive measures to avert future catastrophes. Palisades and Eaton fires are fully contained in Los Angeles. So, a little bit more about the Edison and the power lines. As we learned so clearly in Lahaina, in Hawaii, that the wind was stronger than they had experienced ever in that little community. And with the power lines flapping in the wind, they came down. And when they come down with bazillions of volts and hit the ground, they spark and they ignite whatever is within close proximity. That's what happens. And so it starts a fire. Well, that's okay. I mean, sometimes power lines fall, but no, the wind then, which is still strong, of course, promotes that fire, feeds the fire oxygen, and it gets hotter and consumes, and more power lines drop and more fires start, and pretty soon you've got an ungodly mess. And so they're looking into if that's what's happened in LA, and I say that's pretty probable thing to see, unfortunately. And, you know, here in Laguna Beach, we always are concerned because we have power lines coming up the canyon, and I don't know how many times the canyon's been closed because a power line has fallen down. And they are high power lines. I mean, they are very high voltage, high wattage, whatever power lines, because they feed up and down the coast. So to access power up and down the coast, they happen to come through our lovely canyon, and it distributes power up and down the coast. I don't know how far, I don't know all the statistics, but that is one of the major power supply routes coming through the canyon. In fact, if you drive through the canyon and you look, you'll see many, many transformers on those power lines to step the voltage down for the businesses or residences in the canyon, because the power is so powerful on the line, it has to be stepped down so it can be low enough to be used in these businesses and residences. And so there was a major push by our former mayor to underground the power lines, which is a method to mitigate, fire hazard. And it makes good sense. I mean, it's dangerous. So what's happening now, if you're not aware, is that the power gets turned off when there's high winds. So to prevent the power lines when they come down, which they will, from starting a fire. And that's the only measure we can take that's quick and results driven, I suppose. But so there is a way if Laguna Beach decided to go off the power grid and have its own solar operation, they could. And I developed a website that explained how that could be done, but I don't know. I'm just a little mouse in the corner, I guess. Anyway, I won't go on. Let's leave it at that. It's not resolved, and maybe the new city council will come up with a good solution somehow and protect have protection measures better than just turning the power off, which would be better to have a way around that and prevent that hazard, because we will continue, I feel, to have strong winds. And climate change, I do believe, is a reality, and that is what drives those winds. That's what drives these severe winters we have. That's what drives the more tornadoes that we have. The only thing it doesn't seem to affect is earthquakes, and maybe that'll be next. I don't know. But there you have it. I won't go on more. I have some other news here, which is not on this day in history, but this is what's happened this last week with social, political, and legal spheres. This is what, I can't follow the news. I have to turn it off about 2/3 of the time, because I feel like our world is being dismantled. But anyway, I digress. Between January 26th and February 1st, which is yesterday, several significant events impacted the community across social, political, and legal spheres. Number one, removal of transgender references from federal websites. Got to get rid of those words. They're very bad. On January 31st, the Trump administration directed federal agencies to eliminate references to transgender individuals from government websites, aligning it with an executive order defining gender strictly as male or female at birth. And again, I think I've gone on about that as God doesn't create strictly male or females for everyone, but apparently someone else thinks they can play that part and determine what that's, make a determination. Impact. The action erased information and resources pertinent to transgender individuals, affecting public access to health and support services. So, kick them out in the cold. That was reported by the New York Post. Number two, suspension of gender marker changes in U.S. passports. As of January 28th, the State Department halted the issuance of passports with X gender markers and froze processing of applicants to amend gender markers following an executive order opposing gender diversity. So if you've gone through you've changed your sexual identity, and you're, for all practical purposes, are a female and no longer a male, then you show up with your passport and it says you are a male, and you look at the person, you say, well, sure looks like a female. You can't identify yourself as having made that transition. So, impact. Transgender and non-binary Americans face challenges in obtaining accurate identification, complicating travel and legal recognition. And number three, executive order prohibiting gender transitions for minors. An executive order prohibiting gender transitions for individuals under 19 years old. The order restricts access to gender-affirming care for transgender youth, leading to legal challenges and widespread criticism from medical and LGBTQ advocacy groups. That was reported in The Guardian. Number 4, school systems refuse to comply with anti-trans executive order. Multiple school systems across the U.S. announced they would not comply with President Trump's executive order mandating discrimination against transgender students. Impact. These districts emphasize their commitment to inclusivity, potentially facing federal funding repercussions. And that was reported by the Truth Out. Truth Out. Number 8 happened this week. International Criminal Court seeks the arrest of Taliban officials. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor filed applications to arrest warrants to senior Taliban officials, charging them with gender persecution, including against LGBTQ plus individuals. The impact? This marked a significant step in international recognition of crimes against LGBTQ people as human rights violations. Well, that's good. Thailand advances. The next is Thailand advances LGBTQ rights. Okay, that's good for Thailand. Thailand made hormone therapy free for transgender individuals and legalized same-sex marriage. These measures represent a significant progress in Southeastern Asia. Argentina's anti-fascist march. Thousands of Argentina protesters protested against President Javier Milei, M-I-L-E-I. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, Milei. Statements linking LGBTQ plus communities to pedophilia and criticizing gender policies. The impact, the Marcha Federal del Orgullo Artificasima united various organizations in defense of inclusion and rights. Number 8, controversial surrounding the Emil Perez film. The film Emilia Perez faced criticism as a portrayal of Mexico and trans identities despite receiving multiple awards. I'll have to ask Eddie about this one. Impact, the controversial highlighted ongoing debates about representation and authenticity in media. Number 9, youth respond to executive orders. On January 31st, the LGBTQ plus expressed distress over President Trump's executive orders targeting transgender individuals, sharing experiences of increased stigma and fear. The impact, the order exacerbated mental health challenges among LGBTQ plus youth, underscoring the need for supportive environments. Number 10, Michigan updates hate crime laws. In Michigan, they expanded its hate crime laws to include protections based on gender identity and sexual orientation. Good for you, Michigan. The legislature can provide increased legal protections for LGBTQ plus individuals in the state. And number 11, the last one on the list, a federal judge temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order pausing federal loans. Oh. And there you have it. Now, I'm getting to the top of the hour, so I just have a couple of minutes, and I'm going to go on about LGBTQ youth and the Trevor Project. This is alarming. The Trevor Project, a leading suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ plus youth, has recently experienced significant developments. Warning, this is not easy to swallow. Increased crisis line volume, post-election surge. Do we know what that is? Yeah. Following the November 2024 election, the Trevor Project reported a record-breaking 700% increase in crises contacts, indicating heightened distress among LGBTQ youth. That was reported by the Trevor Project themselves. Inauguration Day spike on January 20th. The inauguration day, there was a 33% increase in crisis line volume compared to the prior week. The following day saw an additional 46% rise, underscoring ongoing concerns within the community. Generous donation. This is under the Trevor Project type subject we're going on. On January 7th, Jeff Atwood, co-founder of Stack Overflow and Discourse, donated $1 million to the Trevor Project, bolstering its mission to support LGBTQ plus youth. How about that? Did you know we could eradicate AIDS virus around the world if we really wanted to? It's all there with some donations. Research insights, again, the Trevor Project. A recent survey revealed that nearly 40% of LGBTQ youth are considering relocating due to adverse political climates in their home states. This highlights the profound impact of legislation on their mental health and well-being. These developments underscore the critical role the Trevor Project plays in providing support and advocacy for LGBTQ plus youth, especially during politically challenging times. So there's the Trevor Project. And you can call the Trevor Project if you're having some feelings that are not so happy and pleasant. And their number is 866-488-7386. 866-488-7386. Or from any phone anywhere, you can dial 988. Like dialing 911, you dial 988, and they will put you in touch with a professional listener to help you sort things out. And and I'm unanimous in that. So where are we? We got to start the hour. Oh my goodness, I'm way behind on my work here. Anyway, hold on here. Where are we? Oh, yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Beaming in from the plains of Manitoba. For one night and one night only, Massey Hall is proud to present the very talented, the Alberta Rose, the one and only Miss Chatelaine.
Just a kiss, just a kiss. I have lived just for this. I can't explain why I've become Miss Chatelaine. Just a smile, just a smile. Hold me tight.
KXRN LP, Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach. KXFM on 104.7, KXFMradio.org.
Hey there, what's up, Laguna? I'm Janice Murray here with news. If you want to thank your donors, paint their signatures on outside walls for all to see. That's exactly what the Laguna Beach Art Museum is doing with city support. The city approved the project as a sign, but actually the museum sees it more as a beautiful mural, thanking donors in a $1 million fundraising campaign. The sign/artwork are coming soon and will stay on Cliff Drive and PCH walls for up to a month. Donor signatures will be drawn under the direction of artists to make the display an art piece. And I'm Janice Murray, KXFM in Laguna Beach.
Hi, this is KXFM meteorologist Dave Murray. It is a good-looking Sunday across Laguna Beach. Of course, it is Groundhog Day. Sunshine dominates. 65 will do it for the high. Just a very pretty day to be out and about and enjoy everything that is Laguna Beach. Tonight, clear skies. 50 will do it for the overnight low. On Monday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Another very quiet day. 64 degrees. Rain continues to be on tap for Tuesday night into Wednesday. I think the prime time is going to be 10 p.m. Tuesday night to about 10 a.m. on Wednesday, and we could easily see a solid inch of rain. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 104.7 Laguna's Community Radio.
This disclaimer is a statement notifying listening audiences that any opinions expressed on our shows are not representative of Laguna Radio Inc., its management, or its board of directors.
Hey, I'm back after our short weather. Sounds great. Thank you, Dave. I might go out and enjoy it myself. It was 55 degrees coming in this morning at 10 a.m. here in Laguna. And currently it is 63 degrees. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so continuing, this is Valentine's month. The 14th, which is not this coming Friday, but the Friday after. And I should announce that again, as I did the top of the last hour, that Laguna Beach Pride has an event which is called Club Q. Actually, it's Club Q event that is supported by Laguna Beach Pride. I should make that clear. Club Q, if you're not familiar with it, is for a more senior social group. And they usually have events once a month, many of them just social, get together. And, at this time, it seems that is more important than ever, I feel like. And the theme, this is love is love is love. And it will be for 2 hours on Friday, February 14th at from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Susie Q Community Center. And so all you have to do is show up. It's free. Well, a $5 donation. And there is adult beverages and some light bite food. You can bring a snack if you'd like, or a side dish, whatever rouses your berries, whatever makes you feel, cool. So we're celebrating love. And I thought the best song is an old classic that spells love, and I'm just excited to play it for you. Everyone's heard it. It's old, it's moldy, but it's appropriate. Okay.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love, is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Love was made for me and you. Love was made for me and you.
Oh yeah, what a classic. I can remember Michelle singing that song, I believe. Maybe we harmonized in it, but it is a classic. That goes out to my cousin Michelle. Love, Love. Now I have another song. It's an old Beatles song, and it's "And I Love Her So," but it's remade or redone by Pat Metheny, and you wouldn't think it's instrumental, but you wouldn't think "And I Love Her So" would be a good instrumental song, but try this version out. I just love it. Pat Metheny. I hope you're having a relaxing Sunday morning here, soon to be Sunday afternoon, February the 2nd in the year 2025. This is KXFM Radio, Craig on Rainbow Radio, here every Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon, and we're in our second hour here. I had read a republished, I guess, note from Carl Sagan, who I find this very interesting. 25 years ago, Carl Sagan, he warned the risk of scientific ignorance, and I think that's part of what we're suffering now. And more than just scientific, more just realism or truth ignorance of the truth, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, he said 25 years ago, we live in a society absolutely dependent on science and technology, and yet have cleverly arranged things so that almost no one understands science and technology. That is a clear prescription for disaster. Whoa. The article goes on and explains more about why it is a prescription for disaster, and that we respond, what replaces it is propaganda. So it's kind of a depressing thought, but something we need to think about, I think, could be. Then I did. If you tuned in the top of last hour, I went on about the DEI. And why did I go on about it so much? Is because our president blames the airplane crash on the DEI. I guess I didn't mention that, and that was brought to my attention. So I want to make that clear. DEI is not what is often understood it is. It is, that would be affirmative action. Anyway, so he's saying anyone but, I guess, a white male is the reason that it failed. That's my spin on it. I'm unanimous in that. So I also have a feeling about, we deported this last week, I think it was a couple hundred illegal aliens with criminal records. Yeah, that's fine. Back to their countries. Why should we warehouse them here if they're criminals? And why should we prescribe their punishment? Anyway, at our expense, probably living conditions better than what they're going back to. Anyway, but I don't believe that if someone's been convicted in our court system, that they should, the pardons are being abused. And I wanted to ask the brain about what, a question about, and here's the question I ask: how many pardons were recently granted by Donald Trump, and how many of them were for convicted felons? Well, I also ask, in fairness, how many pardons were granted by Joe Biden, and how many of them were for convicted felons? Same question. Let's see what it compares. So it says, let's do Trump. On January 2025, Donald Trump granted pardons for approximately 1,500 individuals involved in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. The action included full pardons for many of the communications for 14 individuals, notably members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, convicted of seditious conspiracy, such as Enrique Tarrio and Stuart Rhodes. Additionally, on January 21st, President Trump issued a full and unconditional pardon for Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the darknet marketplace Silk Road, which there's a lot of money there, who had been serving 2 life sentences plus 40 years for charges including conspiracy to commit drug trafficking, money laundering, and computer hacking. Furthermore, on January 23rd, Trump pardoned 23 anti-abortion protesters convicted of offenses such as violating the freedom of access to clinic entrances. Among those pardoned was Lauren Handy, who had been sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for leading a blockade of a Washington, D.C. abortion clinic. In total, President Trump has recently granted clemency for over 1,500 individuals, the majority of whom were convicted felons in the January 6th Capitol attack. Now, those have a specific political connection in that they were, to me, those were all politics, not honorable pardons. And when I go on, I don't know. Anyway, so let's do Biden. He did 8,000 pardons. That's a lot more than Trump. Trump's about 1,500 or more. Anyway, during the presidency from 2021 to 2025, President Joe Biden granted clemency for over 8,000 individuals, the majority of whom were convicted felons. Oh, wow. That's scary. Includes approximately 6,500 individual pardoned for federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. Now, there is a distinction there. These felons were not it was not a politically motivated pardon, but it was, I feel, a commitment to the justice system reform. In other words, we're paying to house over 8,000 individuals who were convicted for marijuana possession, not selling, but possession. And the laws since those convictions have changed. The laws say it's no longer a felony and it's no longer punishable with long prison sentences or mandated 3 strikes, you're out. It is, the pardons to me were in keeping with the current law and current times and were appropriate. If someone has marijuana in their possession and it's a felony and they go to jail, and we're housing 8,000 people for using marijuana, to me, those pardons are legitimate. They make sense. There's good reason why, when a law has changed and it's no longer an offensible crime, that those could be pardoned. Okay, but let's go on further. On December 12th, in the largest single-day act of clemency in U.S. history, Biden commuted the sentences of 15 nonviolent offenders who had been released to home confinement during the COVID pandemic. In other words, during the pandemic, they were released to be, and they're nonviolent, which means they were petty theft or, which none of it's good, but they've been out and they haven't recommitted a crime, and they've been out since COVID in, 2018? Yeah. And additionally, he commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates. So 37 people were on death row to be executed, and he commuted their sentence to life in prison. So they won't be executed, but they'll serve their time in prison till they die. And that is, I think, in response to, we don't want the death penalty, which seems to be a consensus. I don't know. So that's not nearly, to me, as bad as people that attack police officers and tried to do bodily harm and tried to participate in insurrection in our own government, a threat to our own government, our own constitution, and many things, and they're all released. And I just feel like it's just threw jet fuel on a fire that's just, I don't know. Anyway, these actions reflect President Biden's commitment to criminal justice, focusing on individuals convicted of nonviolent offenses, particularly those related to drug crimes. So there you go. in fairness, I gave both sides, but I also gave my opinion. And, you know, it is what it is. All right. So, on, I feel like after I go on those, we need to cleanse our palate. What can we do, folks? What can we do? I feel like what's that movie? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to think of the name. Can someone help me out? Someone text me the name of the movie where what's his face gets yells out the window, "I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore." He got an actor award, I think, for that. Yeah. So maybe if locally we got together and did some things, there's organizations locally, and Laguna Beach Pride is this is on the QT, but we're working to try and put some people together, coming together, so that we can respond to those questions. You know, I think there's so many people feel frustrated and that so many things are out of their control. And so what can we do locally to protect our, I don't know, support the Constitution and protect our environment, protect us, protect everyone, make sure that there is equality for everyone. So some thoughts that were brought together. Why would we want to bring people together? Well, and I'm thinking Human Rights Campaign, the ACLU, the Lavender Democrats would be good. And then some other businesses and local organizations, maybe even Rainbow Radio, and maybe even the Orange County Center, LGBTQ Center with Peg Corley. Maybe some of these people would come together and we could have kind of a little conversation about what can be done and putting things together for. And why would we want to do this? And that's because combining national resources and expertise with local insights and platforms creates a powerful force for systemic change and grassroots impact. So stronger together is one response. An unified voice is another. A collective effort amplifies advocacy, raises visibility, and builds public support for critical issues like protecting transgender rights and combating hate. And then local and national reach. Certainly we can do both. Laguna Beach is noted for its strong LGBTQ presence and diversity being a big part of the community and well accepted. So that speaks to the voice, you know, and the national reach. What we can do, we can advocate for anti-discrimination laws and challenge harmful policies, build inclusive spaces in schools, workplaces, and healthcare systems, educate the public and amplify LGBTQ plus voices through events, media, and storytelling, respond swiftly to hate crimes and provide support to affected individuals, strengthen visibility and allyship through pride events and awareness campaigns. By working together with one voice, we can protect vulnerable communities, and that's for everyone. Promote equality, that's for everyone, and foster a more inclusive society. Let's unite our strengths and make it happen. So that's my pitch. God, I've been going on so much, I think I'm losing my voice. So we are on a love, because Valentine's, and so I really change gears, don't I? So this is my Chérie Amour, which is about the one I love.
Lovely as a summer day, my Chérie Amour, distant as the Milky Way, my Chérie notice me. My Shelly, won't you tell me how could you ignore that behind that little smile I wore? I wish that you were mine. La 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 la. Maybe someday you'll see my face among the crowd. Maybe someday I'll share your little distant cloud. Oh, Shelly, oh, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for. I wish that you were mine. La 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 la
Hey now, Billy Freed here, Executive Director of the nonprofit known as KXFM Radio, member supported. Did you know that we have over 80 people who do shows on our station, who volunteer their time to make great radio for you, our listener? That's quite something, isn't it? Do you know of any business where 80 people will work for free because they love it so much, because of their connection to that microphone that sends out that magic into the ether and into your ears? 80 shows on the all-new KXFM 1047 Laguna's Community Radio. Tune in. You're going to turn on.
I'm Dr. Bob, KXFM, Saturday mornings. I'm the curator of rock and roll from 1950s and 1960s, rocking with the doc, 7 to 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, 1047 Laguna's Community Radio. Tune in, turn on, keep rocking.
Yeah, keep rocking with the doc. Over 80 volunteers. 80, if we don't have something for you, I don't know who would, because with 80 different volunteers and 80 different spins on reality and the world and what's going on, and, you know, we cover it all here at KXFM. Thanks to our new management team and the hard work they're doing, we are alive and vital once again as we grow and prosper. Go forth and prosper. Excuse me. I do have some significant historical events, as we like to say. Yes. What are they? This is look back at history, and we always do find some good, interesting tidbits that we can gnaw on for a little while. So I ask it for 25. Now I have the freedom to ask how many I want. Well, they came back with 21, but that's all right. 21, I'll take 21. 25 is quite a few significant events, I might add. So, yeah. Anyway, as we go on here, the first one is February 8th, the first appearance of lesbian in the U.S. congressional record. Well, I didn't know that. The term lesbian appeared for the first time in the U.S. congressional record on this date, marking an early recognition of lesbian identity in official government documents. Well, 1927. Oh, that's pretty controversial. And in 2014, February 4th, 2014, the Canadian municipalities raised rainbow flags during the Sochi Olympics. In protest against Russia's anti-LGBTQ plus laws during the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, numerous Canadian cities, including St. John's, Halifax, and Vancouver, raised rainbow flags at their city halls. The act of solidarity highlighted international support for LGBTQ rights. I love our neighbors to the north. They are a model country, if you ask me. So moving along, February 2nd, which is today, on this day in history, is the formation of Transgender Europe, the TGEU. Transgender Europe was established in Vienna in 2005, Vienna, Austria, during the first European Transgender Council. Is a network of organizations and individuals working to combat discrimination and support the rights of transgender people across Europe. And February 8th, European Parliament affirms equal rights for gays and lesbians. The European Parliament, wow. The European Parliament declared that gays and lesbians are entitled to equal rights, including the right to marry. This affirmation was a significant step for LGBTQ plus equality in the within the European Union. And moving to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, they pass on February 14th, they pass a non-discrimination ordinance. Lewisburg City Council this was back in 2016, unanimously passed an ordinance 254 prohibiting discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Moving along to February 8th in 2019, Nyla Ross becomes the first openly transgender wrestler in the U.S. in major U.S. promotion. She made history by signing the All Elite Wrestling and becoming the first openly transgender wrestler. February 2nd, Pete Buttigieg becomes the first openly gay cabinet member confirmed by the Senate. Pete Buttigieg was confirmed as U.S. Secretary of Transportation, making the first openly gay person to be confirmed in the Senate to a cabinet position. So, of course, President Trump blamed him personally for the tragedy of the airline crash in D.C. this last week. It's all Pete's fault. Although, no, let's not go there. February 2nd, in 1859, the birth of Havelock Ellis. Havelock Ellis was born on this day, was a British physician and psychologist who studied human sexuality and authored works that included discussions on homosexuality, contributing to early sexology research. Wow. Havelock Ellis, never heard of him. That was a new one for me. And February 2nd in 1861, man, we're going way back. Edith Lees Ellis. Edith Lees Ellis, born on this day, was the English writer and women's rights activist known for her open lesbian relationships and marriage to Havelock Ellis. So she was married. Oh my, that's a family affair. Moving along to February 2nd, the launch of the It Gets Bigger campaign, that was a slip up. It Gets Better campaign in Australia. The It Gets Better campaign, aimed at supporting LGBTQ plus youth, was launched in Australia to provide hope and encouragement to those facing harassment and discrimination. That was in 2015. Making progress. Moving along to 1956. The birth of Nathan Lane, an openly gay American actor known for his work in theater and film, was born on this day. Think of The Birdcage. February 3 in 2012, Washington State Legislature passed the same-sex marriage bill. The Washington State Legislature approved a bill legalizing same-sex marriage, which was later upheld by voters in a referendum. Moving along to February 4th in 2010, the U.S. Senate holds a first hearing, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, repeal. The U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee held its first hearing on the potential repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, which barred openly gay individuals from serving in the military. You could be gay, but you couldn't talk about it. Whoa. February 5th in 1999, U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of gay-straight alliances. Oh, you couldn't have them, I guess. The California Supreme Court ruled that schools must allow gay-straight alliance clubs to meet on campus, affirming students' rights to form such groups. Good for the U.S. Supreme Court and the Constitution. February 6th in 1888, First National Black, Gay, and Lesbian Conference was held in Washington, D.C., addressing specific to the Black LGBT plus community. In February 6th, in the year 2013, the British House of Commons approved same-sex marriage bill. The British House voted in favor of bill legalizing same-sex marriage in England and Wales. There you go, Lynn. February 7th in 2000, Vermont House of Representatives passes the Civil Unions Bill, granting civil unions to same-sex couples, providing them with legal recognition and rights. In the year 2006, Illinois enacts a civil rights amendment. Illinois enacted an amendment to its Human Rights Act prohibiting discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Good on you in Illinois in the year 2006. Moving along to the year 2014, U.S. Attorney General announces a federal recognition of same-sex marriages. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder announced that the federal government would recognize same-sex marriage for legal purposes, extending federal benefits to married same-sex couples. Moving along to February 8th in 1980, the first gay and lesbian civil rights march in Sacramento. That's the state capital of California. The first gay and lesbian civil rights march took place in Sacramento, advocating for equal rights and protections. And the last one on this day in history, in 2010, Portugal's president ratifies same-sex marriage law. Portugal's president ratified the law legalizing same-sex marriage, making Portugal the 8th country globally to allow same-sex couples to marry. And there you have all the news that's fit to be the news. I have a bunch of, as you know, my dear collaborator here, Eddie Singletary. I was hopeful he would have some time to drop in on his day, but apparently not. It's always an open invitation, but he did go to the Sundance Film Festival, and which, is it in Telluride? I believe. Anyway, the Sundance Film Festival, and there is a bunch of news about new movies coming out, and I wanted to share them and get his input on it. But I'll just do a little teaser right now. If you followed this is an article written by Drew Burnett Gregory, and this was on January 31st. If you followed my festival coverage at Sundance in the past and have been frustrated that you can't watch the work yourself, we have great news for you. Almost everything I'm covering this year is available through Sundance 2025 online platform. So you can go to the Sundance 2025 online platform and you can get all of the latest news. Let's see. Some of the most high profile queer films this year are Andrew Ann's remake of The Wedding Banquet and Bill Condon's much anticipated Kiss of the Spider Woman. So those are remakes, and there's a bunch. And I hope that Eddie has had a chance to see some of these and we can get all of the details on it, maybe next Sunday, if he's available and can drop in. That would be great. Anyway, I love the movies that are out there. There's some, Out Magazine has a list of, there's one called Southern Hospitality. That sounds interesting. What else is there? There's Kiss of the Spider Woman, Tooth, I don't know what that is. Tonatiuh. I don't know. And the Wedding Banquet. So those are the top three that were presented. Not all of them, when they're presented at Sundance, are available. If you didn't know, that's the way it works. They have the festival to find someone who will distribute these movies, and they showcase them, hoping that Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever will hook up and distribute the movies, and some of them are very successful and some are not. But the most popular ones that they talk about certainly get some kind of distribution that makes good sense. So along with love, we have to make someone happy, and that has been my theme all through December, and it's continuing into February now, December and January. And this is Jamie Cullum. I just love his casual kickback. Yeah, let's make someone happy.
Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. One smile that cheers you. One face that lights when it's near you. One girl, you're everything to. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff of life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you've found her, build your world around her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff of life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you've found her, build your world around her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too.
Oh, you will be happy too. That's Jamie Cullum. Make someone happy. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. I'm just got just a few minutes left to toss a few messages out there. Don't forget that on February 14th, which is like 10 days away, or maybe 11. I'm not sure. Today's the 2nd. So 2 from 14 would be 12. There we go. 12 days away. And we do have a social that lasts from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for just 2 hours. But to get together, there's some free noshing food and some beverages that we would appreciate a $5 donation. But it's at the Susie Q, and it's Club Q, which is an organization that is supported by many in the community, including Laguna Beach Pride, which is a good thing. And so hopefully you can make it to that, which is, we'll talk a bit more about it this next week and give you some more details on it. Laguna Beach Pride is working on a beach bonfire. We got to confirm that there are some fire pits out there that we can use. And what else can I tell you? We're looking at volleyball. We're looking at a lot of things. Anyway, keep posted. You can always go to Craig at lagunabeachpride.org. Now, as far as Rainbow Radio, go to Craig at rainbow-radio.org and drop me a line and tell me what you would like to see more of on the program, or maybe less of. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. I don't know everything. And so if you do have a suggestion or an artist or someone, I do have some very significant guests on, which I'll talk more about next week, because it'll just be a week away from when they're on. And I'll share that with you. Authors, movie writers. This one person is a producer and writer for, what was it? Law and Order and ER and some major productions out of Hollywood. So he'll be on the program, which is going to be very exciting. And he also has got a degree in medical science and CRISPR, which is all to do about DNA modification and AIDS and how he covers everything. He's just, I am so excited to have him on, and you'll get an email all about it this week. And so that's something you won't want to miss. Anyway, I'm going to sign off with a crazy song because we're talking about love, and sometimes love doesn't work out. We have to. Anyway, this is an old song by Kenny Loggins, who used to be from the First Edition, which if you go back before Kenny Loggins was a solo artist, he was in a group called the First Edition. And I did see them perform the First Edition. It's called Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town. It's a crazy song. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in this morning with Rainbow Radio here, Craig, and I'm going to sign off, and we'll be back next Sunday from 10 a.m. And don't forget, we're always live streamed on YouTube. You can go and watch it, and once it's over, you can also, if you missed anything, you want to review it, it's all there on YouTube. But you have to go search for Rainbow Radio Laguna or Craig or something like that, and it'll show up at the top. And when you go down, you have to click the live editions as opposed to the video editions. There's live and there's video. Click the live, and there's a whole collection of past Rainbow Radios there you can peruse, or you can also go to rainbow-radio.org, and the podcasts are there as well. So anyway, have a fabulous Sunday here in Laguna Beach or wherever you are. Love you, and we'll be back next week. Thanks for tuning in.
You've painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair. Ruby, are you contemplating going out somewhere? The shadow on the wall tells me the sun is going down. Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. It wasn't me that started that old crazy Asian war, but I was proud to go and do my patriotic chore. And yes, it's true that I'm not the man I used to be. Oh,
I still need some company. It's hard to love a man whose legs are bent and paralyzed. And the wants and the needs of a woman your age, Ruby, I realize. But it won't be long, I've heard them say, until I'm not around. Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. She's leaving now, 'cause